Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. The double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainan. The title of this video is The Egyptians Against the Egyptians. Right? And basically, the scriptures tell us that Esau Edom in the last days will come down with great wrath because he know they have but a short time. This is Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, right? Woe means destruction. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, right? And basically, what has happened is they passed a bill which included the DHS, right, which funds ICE and the Department of Homeland Security, the borders, and things like that, right? So they passed a bill, but I believe they passed it, but something important was removed from it, and it was something someone put. Basically, she banned deporting U.S. citizens, and they removed it from the bill. So that means they're allowed in this new bill, this new law, right, to deport United States of America, right, citizens. Isaiah 10:1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and the right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Now they have prescribed these things. These things were already put into motion, right? This is something that they already wanted to do, right? They wanted to come down with great wrath. They wanted to bring the chaos so they can bring about their order, right? Trying to think of this next one. Scripture says, who frameth mischief by law, right? Psalms 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? Right? He's throwing up problems by laws. He's making a law and putting into place that he's able to arrest U.S. citizens. So it doesn't even deport them. Take them away. It doesn't even much matter if you are a U.S. citizen and the Trump administration does not like you in one way, shape, or form. They can just simply deport you now, send you to a detention center camp, and do away with you. NOT says, can unjust leaders claim that God's on their side? Leaders whose decrees permit injustice? Right, and it's an injustice. American citizen here working legally, paying taxes, right? Probably a firefighter or something like that, supporting the community, and these devils come in and are allowed to just deport him, maybe because of the color of his skin or the accent of his voice, or just because you don't follow New York 47.
Two days before Alex Preddy was shot and killed by federal agents in Minneapolis, Republicans in Congress, Republicans in the House of Representatives, voted on a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security, which is the agency that oversees ICE and the rest of Trump's immigration crackdown. Just as they were preparing to pass that bill in the House, one Democratic congresswoman from Texas, Veronica Escobar, came forward with a warning about what they were about to vote on. She says, quote, during our debate on the bill, I successfully amended the bill to include language that would prevent ICE from apprehending and deporting U.S. citizens. When the bill was reported out of committee, it included my amendment. But, she says, during negotiations, I was told that the White House, Stephen Miller in particular, stripped my amendment from the bill. Again, the amendment was explicitly and specifically just to prevent ICE from apprehending and deporting U.S. citizens. They stripped that out of the bill, reportedly at the White House's insistence. Congresswoman Escobar says, quote, this means Donald Trump does not want to protect U.S. citizens. Let that sink in. Donald Trump does not want U.S. citizens protected from being detained and deported by ICE. So Republicans are preparing to vote on the big bill to fund ICE, to fund Homeland Security. Congresswoman Escobar says, hey, can we just make...
Okay, so yeah, I guess they didn't do the bill yet, and they're even saying that this could cause a government shutdown, which we already expected this to come. I believe it's supposed to be like January 30th, right? When it's between the 28th and 30th when this government shutdown is supposed to take place.
Make it clear here that ICE can't arrest and deport U.S. citizens? Republicans say, yes, we can do that. That's fine. We're not supposed to be deporting U.S. citizens anyway, right? So go ahead and put that in this bill. We agree. But then, according to the Congresswoman, the White House and Stephen Miller then step in and tell the Republicans, we don't care that you're okay with it. We want that taken out.
Right, and these are the what is it, the JOO lobbyists, right? The Zionists, right? The Amalekites from the land of Israel who run America.
We don't want anything in this bill that might prevent us from arresting U.S. citizens and deporting them out of the country. Citizens. After they, at the White House's insistence, reportedly, stripped out the language about not arresting and deporting American citizens, Republicans did end up passing that bill out of the House. That is the bill that is now headed to the Senate, where it will need 60 votes to pass in order to avoid at least a partial government shutdown. Democrats say they don't want anything to do with it, and they're not going to help, and they're not going to vote to fund ICE and DHS. The Senate's Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer, said over the weekend.
Yeah, and there you go. Whatever the case may be, these people are divided, and it divides the people because the people believe in this blue and red thing heavily. All right, and they're very concerned about it. Some people are talking about we're going to vote you out of office and arrest every last single one of you, right? So this is the things that they believe in, and they're divided, and the people see that. This is Matthew 12:25. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And that's the point. This kingdom is at an end. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So this world must come to an end, and these people must be divided.
And Senate Democrats will not provide the votes to proceed to the appropriations bill if the Homeland Security funding bill is included. So, I mean, we'll see. Republicans are going to have to take some action this week.
Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. We understand and know that Yahushai is coming, right? On the chariot, which is that swift cloud, and it's going to come to America. And the many idols here in America we burnt up with thermonuclear warheads, and also the fire beams from the chariots. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So this is the American against American, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Second Ezra 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. The modern day sword is the weapons you see these ICE agents carrying. And now even American citizens are arming themselves because they're just being shot, right? It says, for there shall be sedition. This is, incitement of overthrow of the government. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And ultimately, what this is going to boil down to is martial law, right? Civil unrest, civil war, right? This is why it says they're not going to regard their king or princes, because they're going to be going after these judges and lawyers and mayors and cops and ICE agents and things like that. And the judges and mayors and the cops and the ICE agents will be going after them. And the city will be troubled. Verse 17 says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's exactly where we're headed. This is exactly where America is headed, right? It's fast. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. The government is not going to feed you, right? It's not your regular everyday, services are not going to be available when all hell breaks loose because of what they're trying to do. It's clear as day that this cruel Lord pursuant to Isaiah 19:4, that his ruling wants to accomplish his agenda and his goal. And he's already killing American citizens to achieve that. Isaiah 19:4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, the Lord of hosts. And this is Nero 47. And he's ruling like a king, right? He doesn't plan on stepping down from office. He's talking about third and fourth terms. The Zionists are bribing him $250 million to go again, right? So these things will happen, and it's going to get worse, you know. So, and they're making it blatantly obvious that, you know, you American citizens are on the menu, right? And this just boils down into Jacob Trouble, but Jacob Trouble is everyone's trouble.
Week in order to avoid at least a partial government shutdown. It's possible they're going to strip out just the bill to fund Homeland Security and then try to pass all the other bills to fund all the other agencies. We don't know. But in terms of the Homeland Security funding, the ICE funding, the U.S. Citizen Amendment remains out of it at this point, at Stephen Miller's reported insistence. Democrats do appear to be willing and ready to take a stand here at a moment when public.
Yeah, so we'll see. You know, it doesn't matter if you have your passport, your ID, your social security card, all of that. If they don't want you here, they will deport you, right? And this bill is about to go to the Senate to be passed, all right? And it will be passed, or Donald Trump, Nero 47, is going to do what he always does, which is he doesn't give a fuck. All right, so, you know, warning, blowing the horn, blowing the trumpet. Lord willing, you edify from the lesson. Shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.